Hi there. So for this video, we're going to be taking a look at the drilling functionality in ENCY, and with a special focus on the auto recognition tools that are built in. So to start with, I'm going to import a part. I'm not interested in setting up a full and comprehensive milling process for this part. This is purely demonstrative for drilling. So I'm going to go to the model space and I'm going to import the fixture plate part that I've got here. And this is a very, very standard looking fixture plate. It's got plain drilled holes and it'll have tapped holes as well. So as I say, since this is not going to be a full setup, I'm just going to float it above the tool bed, because, above the working bed, because yeah, doesn't need to be properly anchored or anything. This is purely illustrative. So to start with, we are going to take a closer look at this anyway, and we can see we have an array of different holes here. So one is going to be 6mm, which is this hole, as we can see here, D6, and these ones are 5mm, so D5. Now the 5mm holes are going to be threaded, and the 6mm holes are going to be plain drilled. So to do this, we'll go to Add Operation, and under the Holes option, we've got Hole Machining. And first things first, I don't like the fact that we've got this ridiculously oversized conical mill here. So I'm going to change that to something a bit more relevant. Let's have a quick scroll through, and we'll grab a 6mm drill and select the tool for the operation. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the hole recognition system. So we're going to go to Job Assignment and we're going to click on Recognize, and it'll auto-populate this window to start with. And typically what it will do is it will do this based on the size of the tool that's currently mounted in the holder. So in this instance, it's going for stuff with a minimum diameter of 6mm and a maximum diameter of 30mm. The fact is, we only want 6mm to be selected, but fortunately, because the other holes are smaller than that, it's not really a problem for us in this instance. So if we have a very quick scroll through, we can see these different informational points here. So we've got our coordinates, we've got our diameter, we've got our heights, along with the Z plane heights in there as well. And if we scroll through, we can see that every single hole there is 6mm in diameter, which is exactly what we're after. So I'm going to click on OK for this. And you can see we've now auto-populated this list for everything that's 6mm, which is very much within our needs. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to define the terms of the actual drilling operation itself. So under Strategy, we've got Drilling Type here. Now, I would like, ideally, to be able to remove the chips whilst we're cutting this, so the flutes of the drill don't get clogged up. So if we go with chip removal, you'll see that it gives us the option to define dwells as well as the step down as well. So this is going to be a PEC style operation, and because it's a 6mm drill bit in a 10mm plate, that means we'll have 2 PECs, which will be enough to be able to clear out the chips and to be able to cut all the way through cleanly. So I'm going to leave that as is because that all works for me. That's very much within the realms of what we're after. And I'm going to generate the toolpath based on this. So as we can see here with the red lines, we've got, the toolpath as much as we'd expect with the final lift-off point at the end there. I'm going to simulate it just for the sake of sanity checking. So I've turned off the machine in the simulation at the moment because otherwise you get a lot of confusing moving around, whereas now we just want to see the drill moving around for this bit. So let's run. And if we slow it down, we can see there's 2 PECs in there, as we expect there to be, and it's going to traverse across the range of holes that fit the drill bit in question. So this rather neatly ties up the first half of the operation. So the next thing that I'm going to do is, because I would like to tap the other holes, I'm going to go with an undersized drill to start with, and then we're going to do a tapping operation as well. So first things first, we go back to holes, we go back to hole machining again, and we are going to change the tool again to a 4mm drill, because it's a 5mm hole. It's going to be 5mm an M5 threaded hole. So for now, we want to do a clearance drill. So select the tool for the operation. And we are going to go to the job assignment, and we're going to click on recognize again. Now, obviously the problem that we have here is because this is predicated off the size of the tool, it's going to be 4mm as the minimum diameter. And because it automatically assigns a range, it means it's going to encompass the 6mm holes as well. So we need to wait for this to finish auto calculating everything, and then we want to define the Dmax as 5. And we give it a second to think about it again. So once it's finished auto calculating that, we'll then scroll through here and just make sure that everything's 5mm in the diameter column, which it is, and we'll click on OK. Now again, we're going to go with chip removing so we don't end up with clogged up floats on our drill. And of course, because that's stepping down 100% of the tool diameter, it means we're going to have 3 pecks this time instead of 2, because obviously 4mm into 10. And I am going to generate the toolpath. And again, it does exactly what we expect it to. So we are now going to slow this down just to make sure that it's going to do the relevant number of pecks. Give it a second to bring the tool into play. There we go. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That's exactly what we want to see. So we'll run this up to speed, make sure it does all of the holes as we anticipate it to. And that looks good to me. So we're going to go back to machining now. And once again, we're going to set up another hole machining process, but this time we're going to look at threading. So add operation, holes, hole machining. We're going to define the tool, and we're going to grab a 5mm tap. So scroll down, there you go, 5mm tap, select the tool for the operation. Now it's worth noting that for the sake of setting up these jobs, unlike single point threading on a turning operation, ENCY basically treats taps as if they are just indexed end mills. So we're not going to see a thread formed in the simulation. That's perfectly normal and perfectly okay. It doesn't affect the functionality. And of course, it will interact properly with your mill to make sure that the spindle synchronization is done properly, depending upon whether you set it as a floating head or as a rigid head. Okay. So if we go back into strategy, and we change this to, let's go with tapping with, we'll just go with plain tapping for now, because it's not exactly going to be a very long tap. Okay, and we can set the socket type as floating or fixed. I'm going to go with fixed because it means that the spindle synchronization is going to be included. Just because I prefer to work with rigid tapping compatible spindles. And from this, we are now also going to define the correct holes that we're going to be working with. So we'll click on recognize again. We'll wait for it to finish working out what it's doing. And then we'll set Dmax to 5 because we only want to do the 5mm holes. All right. And again, for those who may be asking the obvious question of, yeah, but the holes we've drilled are 4mm and everything. The detection is based exclusively on the actual geometry of the model, not of the produced geometry of drilling so far, okay? So, click on 5 there. We should see only half the holes get selected. Give it a second. There we go. So, yes, as we can see, only half the holes have been selected. But again, we'll just scroll through for the sake of sanity checking. And we can see the diameter setting there is exclusively 5 throughout. So we're going to click on OK. And I am going to click on Generate Toolpath. So once again, we'll simulate this, and you can see we've already got an alert coming up there. Now, the reason for this is kind of interesting. We can see that it says that the ramp angle is too high. That's because, again, it uses the same end mill style of recognition that it does with milling. Now, obviously, plunge milling with an end mill is something you need to be aware of. It's not necessarily something you cannot do, but you need to plan around it. So, for the sake of this, given that you can't really you can, but only in special circumstances, do side milling with a tap. What I'm going to do now is I am going to go to parameters and I'm going to turn off check for plunges, because while it's a useful thing to be aware of generally, it's not all that relevant to what we're doing at the moment. And I'm going to go back into simulation, and I'm going to slow this down a little and click on run. And we can see that it's going to be going through all of the holes appropriately. And yep, that seems to be doing the exact job that we're expecting it to. Obviously, we can't check for things like spindle rotation synchronization in the simulated environment, but I'm confident that it will not have any problems with that whatsoever, since that's something that your machine will be calculating with the appropriate instruction from the CAM. So if we now run verify compare, now this is purely to illustrate what I was saying earlier about not being able to see a defined thread form in this. Again, that's not a failing of the software, that is purely down to the fact that it manages taps in the same way that it manages end mills. Okay, so don't be surprised if you see this. Again, it is not a problem. If your operations are defined properly, you'll be fine with it. So that's a very, very quick overview on basic drilling and tapping operations using the hole machining options within ENCY. There are, of course, other operations available within that as well, which we will be covering in later videos. So if we have a very quick look at the moment under hole machining, just to see what's available there, so we can talk about it in future. So for now, we've got simple drilling with dwell, and then the chip removal and breakage management processes. We've got a few different tapping options as well. We also have spiral style thread milling, which is useful for much, much bigger threads where, I mean, obviously who wants to carry around taps of every size. We have boring operations as well as hole pocketing operations here. And more interestingly, we have groove boring as well, which is really, really good for any kind of pocketed labyrinth seals or anything like that as well. Now, we will be trying to fit as many of these into future jobs as possible. However, the fundamental operation remains the same throughout. Holes are, of course, one of the more uniform things that you will encounter in milling. And once you've got the core of the operations for that, generally everything slots together and makes sense from there. But we will expand on this further. Either way, over the course of the past 12.5 minutes, I'm hoping that I have given you enough of an insight into the basics of hole machining using ENCY, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.